Hello everyone, my name is Joshua. This is the 153rd video on my video journal series. Today's date is Saturday, the 11th of July, 2026. How's everyone been? I've been pretty good today, and obviously I was in the city to watch the new Detective Conan movie, which I'm going to go on to a little bit later. But I noticed that the L2 and L3 light rail lines along George Street were completely closed. There were some empty trams left vacant on George Street, so I wondered why, and I went up to one of those message boards and it said, due to some network error or like some technical fault, the L2 and L3 are completely shut off, so you have to take a replacement bus if you want to go to Kingsford or Randwick. And alongside that, the entire city circle was closed for weekend track repair, which was fun. I managed to get my way to the cinema, to Town Hall quite easily, but it only left the ferries, the metro, and buses as the only modes of transport operating, at least within the afternoon. I arrived in the city around 3 to 4 o'clock-ish. It would have made it, I guess, a lot harder for people who would have relied on those transport modes to go in the city. And I went into the movie theater. Event Cinemas George Street. I was in the K row. My seat was K5. I got it in my wallet, the ticket, and it was quote unquote the premiere of the film, even though the film was actually shown earlier on in the day at Smash, because Smash is an anime expo held in Sydney, and it's currently, I think it's going on this weekend. But they showed the movie Detective Conan and the Fallen Angel of the Highway, the 29th film in the series. They showed it at Smash. And I originally wanted to go to Smash to watch the movie, but then I was like, you know what, I could just do it for cheaper at Event Cinemas, because at Smash you got to buy a ticket, which is around $50. But I was like, I'll just watch it at Event Cinemas. They're both showing the exact same day. And the film actually releases nationwide later this July, so I actually got to see it a little bit earlier at this fan screening that they held. And obviously the movie theater was packed. Luckily I reserved my seat weeks in advance because the only seats left were the very front seats, unless I want to be looking up the entire time. But even when I went there, I swear the entire theater was fully booked out, but then there were like some seats vacant on the left of me. No one showed up to occupy those seats. So you have an issue where people, I guess, reserve seats, but they don't like show up for the movie. But yet again, I'm not complaining, because at least I got my seat. But like, what if someone wanted to watch the movie, and then, oh crap, all the seats are reserved, but people don't show up? You think they'll make a system where people can like last minute get those seats, or if they can't attend that viewing or whatever, they can just sell it, via like an official marketplace or whatever. I don't know. I'm thinking way too deep into this. But yeah, getting back on track. So I know I said I was going to do my thoughts on this movie. Now, I realized that, first of all, since I'm reviewing all the Detective Conan movies, it makes sense if I do them in order. I'm only up until I still got to do the fourth film for my thoughts on the fourth Detective Conan movie. It wouldn't make sense if I just jump all the way to the 29th. So this video is not going to really be a proper in-dive into the movie, because obviously I don't want to spoil it. I just want to be sharing my emotions and sort of like my experiences watching the film. I won't be revealing the plot. I'll just be sort of giving like an explanation of what I felt during the movie, because I had like a wide variety of emotions, so yeah, that's what I'll be doing today, obviously because I want to review all of the movies properly in order, and I don't want to give any spoilers because yet again it hasn't released globally to everyone, even here in Australia, so fair's fair. And obviously I want to rewatch that movie when it comes out on streaming or Blu-ray, so then I can like give it a proper review. But anyway, so my experience watching this movie, I'm just going to go into my emotions. Obviously, it was a fan screening, so they encouraged everyone to like, laugh and unleash their emotions, but not like be a nuisance to others, sort of thing. And everyone, there were like some scenes in the movie where everyone like laughed collectively, especially like near towards the end when it's supposed to get like very serious. People are like laughing, so what they say, like laughing is contagious. I certainly felt that. you know and obviously, I'll start from the beginning of the movie. Beginning of the movie, they obviously give like a insight into what's a Detective Conan series. They If you watch the any of the previous Detective Conan movies, you know what I mean when they just say they play that mini animation of how Shinichi turned into Conan, and they give like a full-on explanation. Though I noticed the animation was different than the earlier movies, which makes sense because it's clearly progressed. But the like what do you call it? The animated intro where it explains Conan's backstory. I noticed that it's evolved from the earlier films, and obviously the animation has gotten better, but they add new characters in. They sort of revamp it, instead of playing like the same old clip, which I found pretty unique, and I certainly liked that. That isn't a spoiler because yet again it's like right at the beginning of the movie. And obviously, yeah, like I actually, when it came to the antagonist of the story, I actually had a few ideas running through my brain throughout the entire movie, and I was slightly correct. But then when the plot unraveled, I was like, oh, so it's this person, and obviously I don't want to give things away, but like, you know, it's always at the end of a movie where you can piece everything together in your mind. And obviously, being in a movie theater is different than watching it at home. Because when I watch movies at home, I sometimes like to pause, rewind. When I'm in a movie theater, I can't necessarily do that. So all this information is flowing from my brain. Sometimes it's hard to keep track. I literally have to, keep a notepad and pen, to like figure it out. But yeah, obviously, there was a lot of laughter, especially yet again later on in the film when things are supposed to get serious. But there were like some very like heartfelt moments by the audience. If you were at that screening at Event Cinemas George Street today, you'll know what I mean, right? Like everyone was like, you know, it was like nothing too serious. Everyone was yet again like making jokes. Even when the scene started getting serious, people were like still laughing and all of that, or just like you know making like fan references. And I sort of chimed in as well, but um yeah, I must say the animation was very, very good for this one. The music, no issues with that. Obviously, I found the blend between the traditional 2D animation and CGI to be very well done with this movie. Something that I don't feel gets replicated well in anime. I think this movie did a very good job at implementing CGI and traditional 2D animation. And I was memorized by like all the because it's a film about motorcycles. It's on the poster. Um, you know, like the animation of the motorcycles and all the like scenes of the movie where they're doing all these like crazy stunts on motorcycles and all these like chases, and I was very much on my seat, on edge. And I felt like yet again I felt very engaged in this movie. I felt attached to it. I felt attached to the characters, and I believe this is the last movie that has Rand's original voice actor in it, because I believe she sadly passed away recently, which my heart goes out. It's very, very sad. May she rest in peace. And I believe at the end credits of the film, I saw the names and it said "in loving memory of." So I assumed that would have been Rand's original VA. I don't know if she did the lines in this movie. I don't know. I might have to do research online about that. But yeah, 29th film in the series. And it was a very, very solid entry. And I regret not watching the Conan movie, which released in theaters last year. One Eye Flashback, because I think I would have loved that movie. You know, obviously I wasn't into Conan then, but knowing all the twists and turns that can happen in a Conan movie, like my assumptions were like greatly challenged towards like the middle and end, where I'm like, all right, I was wrong about this, but I was slightly correct about this, but there's more to it. um I can sort of like, with movies, I can sort of get who the villain is, or sort of work things out like earlier on in the film, like within the first half. But with this movie, um I was able to like sort of work out who the antagonist was, um, towards like the end of it. But then when the proper end arrived, I was like, ah, so it's actually this. That's happened with me with all the Detective Conan movies. Like I get one aspect right, but then I get like two things wrong. But yet again, when you look back at all the evidence, it starts to make sense. I feel like with this movie, it isn't like a sudden plot twist. You can It's I think the like the sort of like ending of the movie is done well. It's like everything is explained within my mind. They clearly explained it right in front of you, but they explained it in like a very like quick fashion. When Conan yet again like gives his like verdict or whatever, his spiel. Um like sometimes it's like a 5 minute long or like a couple of minute long scene, and then it's suddenly all just coming to you at once. At least that's how I felt. It's certainly not a negative or anything. It's just I'm very slow with processing things. So yeah, I felt like in the beginning of the movie, the pacing was done really well. Then towards the end, obviously, you got the climax. But yeah, I feel like the end of it was a little bit fast, and for me, it took me a while to like process things. But yet again, I was like on edge. I liked all the movements on camera. The all the intense scenes. Yet again, I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil this movie. But I highly recommend, if you're someone who likes the Detective Conan series, and if you like action scenes, chase scenes. Because this movie yet again features a motorcycle. It's on the poster. I recommend you watch this movie when it releases later this July. Yet again, no, I just attended a fan screening, but yeah, I was compelled. And honestly, I wish I would have gone to the Detective Conan series a little bit earlier, but I heard Viz are going to do a re-release of the manga, except they're going to put all the Japanese names of the characters juxtaposed to their earlier releases where they put the English names in next year. So that's great. I could start collecting those books next year, those manga. And yeah, if I had to just sort of finalize my, I guess, opinions and I guess emotions throughout the movie, certainly a lot of laughter. I was laughing. like there's one scene in the movie where I laughed like so hard, and I'll reveal that when I do my like proper review of this movie, which might be like a year from now. It will be a while, but there was one scene where I laughed so hard, and you can like also get like that same sense from the audience, like you just heard like this collective laughter, and I really wish they record like the audience reactions and they upload them online once the movie's released and all that, because cinema audio, like when you're in like in a cinema, right, you sort of want to like join in with the audience. You want to laugh, you want to gasp when they do. And I feel like that in of itself can be lost media. It sounds really weird saying this, but I really like to capture and relive that sort of like cinema experience, like the audience reaction. You've seen those like clips online where people react. Like some guy bought his like VHS camera into like the like Emperor Strikes Back or whatever, Star Wars, and then you see like the audience reaction when people realize that, spoiler alert, Darth Vader is Luke's father. That is hardly a spoiler. Everyone knows it by now. But yeah, I've seen that clip on YouTube. I forgot who uploaded it, but that sort of thing where you can capture the audience's reaction. I wish, I could sort of, even though it just happened to me like just a few hours ago, I wish I can like relive that audience reaction and just that immersion, because that's one reason why I love going to the theater, just to like immerse myself with the audience. If the audience was completely quiet, then that's an experience kind of lost. When I was in Japan, right, when I went to watch Scarface, I know, brand new movie, but yeah, I watched Scarface for the first time in Japan. I went to a movie theater, mind you, this was November 2024, and the entire audience was just silent. And it's very common in when you go to a theater in Japan to stay silent throughout the entire movie. People don't really like cheer or laugh or anything. I guess if it's a comedy, but yeah, and obviously be respectful when you're in the theater. But like I found it a little bit weird, like. I don't want the movie to be completely silent. That's like if you go to a concert and it's completely silent, You want to like have some like laughter in there. You want like that sort of like diegetic sound. Maybe not too much of it, just that like key scenes, and just like that authentic like laughter and gasp and go like, oh, man, I can't believe this happened, sort of thing. And yeah, like yet again, I'll write on like a piece of paper, right, what that scene was, because yet again, there's like plenty of scenes where I laughed, but this one was like the hardest that I laughed, and even thinking about it now, it just makes me laugh uncontrollably. But anyway, yeah, so very very engaging. I was hooked the entire time, laughed, really felt like yet again, I felt emotional because even though I relatively new to the Detective Conan series, I felt attached to the characters. I can remember the characters. They have, some sort of connection with me, because you follow their lives on camera. And, yeah, it's just all around a very, very good movie. And obviously I don't want to give, like, my final verdict or rating because, yet again, this isn't a review. It's just me sharing my I guess emotion and like what the cinema experience was like, because yet again the cinema experience is a lot different to when you're watching a movie at home. So yeah, stay tuned. Yet again, I've been keeping up with the Detective Conan movies. I got them saved, don't worry. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do the fourth movie soon. I still gotta watch it. I'm holding up three fingers. I'm supposed to be holding up four. Long live imposter. What's the Star Trek quote? I forgot. I'm sorry, Star Trek fans. But anyway, yeah, I'll be watching the fourth movie. There we are, four. I can stop doing that now. Fourth movie. And yet again, I'll also do the fifth one, sixth one, seventh. And hopefully I'll do all the Detective Conan movies because they're releasing them on TMS's official YouTube page. However, that's only movies 1 to, I think, 18. I'm unsure of it. I think it's up, all the movies released from 97 to like 2014 or 2015-ish. But the latest films, the films released within the last decade or so, I can easily get on like a YouTube movies or whatever. I can easily rent them out. So don't worry. It'll be my life mission to watch all the Detective Conan movies. And next year is going to be the 30th anniversary of the first Detective Conan movie. So who knows? Maybe they'll do a Blu-ray release, or maybe they'll release them all onto a streaming platform. But yeah, I can't wait to watch, more Detective Conan movies. I'm really into this franchise now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As for the rest of this week, I really have nothing planned. Tomorrow's Sunday, I should say the beginning of the week. Sunday is the beginning of the week. But anyway, you know what I mean. I have nothing planned for tomorrow, and things always prop up in my life last minute. You know that. But yeah, just yet again, thank you all for watching. If you actually made it to the end of this video, I don't blame you if you skipped it or whatever. But yeah, yet again, thank you for watching this series. We're I started this all the way back in February, so it's been Over 5 months now. Over 5 months. And honestly, it's been sort of like a blur, 5 months have passed. Wow. But yet again, though, thank you for watching. And yet again, thank you for watching this series. And my suggestion is, yep, try and watch the new Detective Conan movie if you can. It's very fun. Even if you never watched any movies in the franchise, you can watch this one and you still understand everything that's going on. That's the magic of the Detective Conan movies. You don't need to watch the previous one to understand the newest one. You can watch them in. Oh, you can watch them in any order, but obviously new characters introduced and all that. But it's better to watch in chronological order. But yet again, though, you can still get a very good idea of what the movie's about, who the characters are, because the movies are, I think, non-canon. They're not canon to like the television series. So yeah, you can watch them and they're very, very enjoyable. But anyway, that's enough of me talking, and I guess I'll catch you all next time. Bye, see you, take care. Catch you all tomorrow.